Today's video is going to deal with how to fix a large piece of missing gel coat, actually missing gel coat and fiberglass. When I was grinding on this to get the edges cleaned up, what I found out was that the last owners had taken a big chunk of missing or knocked out fiberglass and gel coat and glued it back in with silicone. So I knocked that out, cleaned it up with acetone and got it all filled in. So let me wind back the clock a little bit and show you exactly how I did that. I was grinding out the crack around this and found out that what it was basically a piece of fiberglass that had been or that had fallen out, and apparently they glued it back in with silicone. So I'll be filling this in with an epoxy resin, and I'll also be thickening it out with milled glass. You're going to see me poking around. It looks like I'm overworking it, but really I'm not. What I'm trying to make sure is that the epoxy compound has good contact with the underlying foam and fiberglass pieces. Here we go now, mixing it up, getting a good thick piece in there, and this is where it looks like I'm overworking it, but I'm really just pushing it in there to get it to adhere as well as I can. That's it. We're going to let it dry. We'll grind it down. I'll show you how I do that. The jar I mixed it in, once that stuff hardens up, it'll pop right out. So I can reuse these jars a number of times. Anyway, stay tuned and we'll see what this looks like. So here's a nice gloppy mess after it's been cured. Not really that worried though. What I'll be doing is I'll be using a belt sander, and this is actually my preference. When you've got a flat surface, the belt sander is really superior to the orbital or any of the other sanders in giving you the surface that you need. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to sand it down. It shouldn't take more than a minute or so. I've got 80 grit. The other neat thing about a belt sander is that you can get some of this India rubber and basically run it on here. This belt's been on here forever, and I just periodically run the sander, get the India rubber on it, and cleans it right up. Leaves it ready. I'm sure it's losing some of its grit, but overall it's really good stuff, the India rubber, and it'll work on any of your sanders. So we get a get as close up what it looks like. Let's go a little further. All it needs is one more fill, and this will be ready for fairing compound. It may not even need any, but it kind of drooped a little bit. I didn't have enough of the milled glass thickener in it, I don't think, so it got a little saggy, but that's alright. It's not a big deal. Here I'm mixing up another batch of thickened epoxy compound using milled glass as the thickener, and I'll be patching in the gaps that are in there. Not a whole lot, just enough to fill that in, and it does run. Here it's cured, so I'll be hitting it with the sander, shaping it in, really rough shaping it in, and after that we'll put in some fairing compound to finish it up. So I'm putting a final coat of fairing compound on this patch, and I think the result's going to be pretty good. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the way this is coming out. This is going to look really good when it's done. Once this fairing compound is cured, I'll sand it down and shape it one last time, and I think this will be done. So we got the Farron compound in. It's cured. I'm going to go ahead and sand it down. I'll let you guys see what it looks like after it gets sanded in there. I think it's going to have a really good finish. There's, as far as I can tell, no defects. So let's go ahead and get it sanded. Let's get a close-up of that. Smooth. Contoured right in. Maybe a little bit of a bump here, but I'll sand it down a little more. I pretty much think that this is going to be unnoticeable once it gets a coat of primer and some paint on it. So that's how I did it. That's how it's patched in. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, share, and definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you can see any future videos I put out. See you again soon.